Hello, this is Catherine from Accelerated Reader, reading books for you. Today, I will be reading Chapter 26 from Anchen, The Story of a Butterfly by Surina Nel. Before I begin reading, I would like to give a big thanks to the author for sending me this book to read on my channel. In the description below, I've included links where you may find and purchase this book. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Chapter 26. Anchen stirred. She was so cozy. She dozed off for a little longer, and then she moved again. I guess it is time to get up, she thought sleepily. Anchen stretched but quickly retracted when she felt a constriction. Cautiously, she looked around. She saw that she appeared to be covered. She touches the covering and felt it move. The pupa moved again. It stops moving for a bit, and then two hands appear, pushing from the inside. A bulge appeared on the back, then a tear. The tear started to grow slowly. Anchen stopped moving for a moment. She put her hands in front of her and pushed with all her might. She stops when she felt something give way on her back. Then, after making sure she did not hurt herself, she tried a little more. On her back, she could feel the tear she caused get bigger. Anchen places her hands in front of her again, and with the last determined push, she could feel the cocoon give way entirely. A sad-looking Anchen emerges from the pupa, wet and crumpled up from the days in the chrysalis. She felt the sun baking warm on her skin. Anchen yawned again and stretched. She was thirsty and swallowed dryly. I need something to drink, she said, and started walking in the direction of the house. She could not believe that she fell asleep like that, totally oblivious to the transformation, or the time she was away. She set for home, not knowing about the yellow smudge of pollen on her cheek. A pale blue butterfly fluttered off to the next blossom and helped herself to some nectar. Unbeknownst to her, she donated the pollen to the flower she was drinking from. She looked up when a shadow passed over her. Her mouth opened in awe at the sight of the most beautiful butterfly she has ever seen. Instinctively, she flew off and followed the butterfly that flew to the corner of the yard and landed on one of the multiple bunches of yellow flowers on the tomato plant. The pale blue butterfly landed on a leaf not far from where the beautiful butterfly landed. The little butterfly was mesmerized by the beauty of the butterfly. She got a fright and jumped when she heard a voice next to her. She got a fright and jumped when she heard a voice next to her. She is so lucky. Just look at her, the voice said, admiring. She really is, the blue butterfly said. I wish I looked like that. The little ladybug scattered away, but the pale blue butterfly could not take her eyes off the beauty in front of her. What I will give to be that beautiful, she sighed, lost in thought. For a second time, a voice spoke next to her. She never noticed the snail sitting on the underside of a leaf. She looks at the snail with brown H-spots all over. She looked wise. Will you really be willing to be in her shoes? The snail asked. Yeah, just look at her. She is gorgeous, the pale butterfly said without hesitation. Look closer, much closer, the snail told her. I do not see anything, said the blue butterfly. Look deeper, 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 said the snail, hypnotizing her. The little pale blue butterfly shook her head. She could not believe what she saw in the wings of the beautiful butterfly in front of her. She saw the girl pining for her father and saw Anchen wanting attention from her busy mom. She saw Anchen insecure about Brad and her friendship with Samantha. She saw the scared Anchen trapped in the web. And she sees Anchen and the cockroaches running from the bird and from the police. She looks at the wise old snail. She looks at the wrinkles with the brown age spots, the watery brown eyes, and the sagging eyelids. She really hasn't been all that lucky, has she? The pale butterfly said. I thought she had it easy. Child, never judge anyone by what you see. Always look deeper. Always seek the truth. The wise old snail advised her. I think I understand what you mean, the blue butterfly said. You see, child, nothing is as it seems. You only see what someone allows you to see. The old snail leaned closer. The truth is always hidden in the actions, the snail explained. So, I need to take notice of how someone acts rather than what they say? The blue butterfly questioned. The wrinkles on the face of the old snail deepened as she smiled. She nodded her head. You have got it, little one. Always look at actions. They never lie. Thank you for teaching me, the blue butterfly said, and smiled at the old snail. The old snail nodded her head and looked at Anchen, who sat on the yellow flowers of the tomatoes, her beautiful wings slowly opening and closing. Anchen walked to one of the yellow flowers and drinks a bit of nectar. She smiled at the sweet taste of the delicious drink. Are you going to the big reveal? A cute butterfly boy asked behind her. Anchen looks at the butterfly sitting a couple of inches away from her. Excuse me? Anchen asked, not sure if the boy was talking to her. The big reveal, are you going? He asked, as a smile crossed his face. The big reveal? Anchen questioned, not sure what he is talking about. You know, in the park, where all the new butterflies reunite with their families. The boy informed her with a chuckle in his voice. Oh, the big reveal. I completely forgot about it. Anchen chuckled, a little embarrassed. Yes, I'm going. Are you? Anchen asked politely. On my way. I just stopped for a drink when I saw you. Care to join me? He invited. Anchen smiled, and together they flew off to the park for the big reveal. A butterfly mom embraces her son in a hug. The father stood close by, waiting to congratulate his son on becoming a man. The mom was laughing and crying and talking at the same time. She stood back and took his face between her hands. Look at you, all grown up. I love you so much, said the mother, hugged her son. I love you too, Mom, the cute butterfly boy responded. The mother stood back, gave the dad time to step in and congratulate his son. The boy looked over his father's shoulder to Anchen. He caught her eye, and soon as he saw her looking at him, he smiled. Anchen looked away, embarrassed. How can you be so stupid? Anchen scolded herself. He saw you looking at him. She searched for Mona, Matt, and Rainer. After some searching, she spotted 2 little caterpillars playing around with 3 young cockroaches. She smiled and flew to them and landed behind the caterpillars. She sneaked up behind Mia and put her hands over her eyes. Guess who? Anchen teased. Antsy! Mia shrieked excitedly. The grown-ups turned around at the sound of Mia shrieking. Mona smiled when she recognized Anchen. Anchen? She questioned. Anchen smiled and nodded. Look at how beautiful you are, Mona said, and hugged Anchen. Anchen turned to Matt, but could not help a quick glance at the cute boy, and catches him once again looking at her. She blushed and quickly looked away. Awkwardly, she turned her attention to Matt, who was proudly standing next to Mona. Matt tenderly embraced Anchen. He held her in a hug, loving her as his own daughter. He broke the embrace and pushed Anchen an arm's length away, both hands on her shoulders, and looked at her. Sweetheart, you look beautiful. I cannot believe that you grew up so quick, he said, fatherly. Just look at you, all grown up. I'm so proud of you, he continued. Thank you, Matt, and thank you for always being there for me. Anchen thanked him and hugged him again. Anchen was then passed her on to her father, who was eagerly awaiting his chance to congratulate his daughter. Rainer stood in front of Anchen. Pride was written across his face. He held her delicate face between his hands. My beautiful Anchen, you have been through so much, and look at you. You are so beautiful. I am so proud of who you have become, Rainer said, and wrapped his arms around her. Anchen dug her face into her father's chest. I love you so much, Daddy, Anchen said emotionally. When Anchen opened her eyes, she caught the cute butterfly boy looking at her. She pulled from the hug and regained her composure, then looked away, blushing. Her eyes fell on the little cockroach babies, running and screeching with the twins. She smiled. Look at them, they having so much fun, Anchen said. Then only does she noticed the familiar figure keeping a watchful eye. All cleaned up, Scram fatherly kept an eye on the kids playing. Anchen inhaled sharply as a smile spread across her face. Scram? Anchen confirmed. Girlie, he said. Look at you, Anchen said. You look so... Anchen stuttered, unable to find the right words. You look so good, so different, so... Not homeless, Scram teased, with a twinkle in his eye. No, I did not mean it like that, Anchen defended. Scram laughed at Anchen's embarrassment. It's fine, girlie. I'm only teasing. I couldn't let the little ones grow up the way Scrub and I had been living. He looks proudly at the triplets. They needed a decent place to stay. They needed a decent mom and dad. I'm so happy to see you like this. Anchen smiled. Scram looked at the scrub and the kids, then smiled. So am I. Scram interrupted as he looked at Anchen. Girl, you are as beautiful outside as you are inside. I wish you well in your future endeavors, he said. Thank you, Scrub, and thank you, Scram. Thank you for saving me. Anchen thanked the two cockroaches sincerely. No need to thank me, girl. Just go and live your life. Go and make the most of it. Promise me. Scram requested from Anchen. Anchen smiled and nodded. I will, Scram. I promise. Anchen promised. Scram hugs Anchen. He held her close and hung on to her, quite emotional. Girlie, he said, thank you for saving me. Anchen just nodded her head as a tender tear carved its way across her cheek. I love you guys, Anchen said. You keeping our girl all to yourself, huh? Stand aside. It's my turn now, Scrub interrupted. The grown-ups laughed as Scram stood aside. Don't be so pushy, he mocked. I'll stand aside. They laughed again. Scrub moves in and hugs Anchen while the others kept an eye on the little ones. They have become close after the ordeal with Anchen and almost losing her. Girlie, you are such a beauty. You have come such a long way. We are so fortunate to have you in our lives, Scrub said, her voice laden with emotion. Oh, Scrub, Anchen said, self-aware. I'm so happy to have you. Look at those three little beauties. They are so cute. I am so happy for you and Scram. That they are. They are Scram's world. They, Scrub said as she was interrupted by the cute butterfly boy who was tapping on Anchen on the shoulder. Excuse me, he said. Anchen turned around and looked into the face of the cute butterfly boy. Her beautiful blue eyes were big in anticipation and wonder. Yes? She questioned. A couple of us is going out tonight. You know, to celebrate the big coming out. The boy looked around awkwardly. I was wondering if you want to join me. You want me to go with you? Anchen replied. I do, the boy said with a smile. Anchen looked over her shoulder to Rainer, who was talking to Matt and Scram. They all went quiet at the appearance of the cute boy that was asking Anchen to go out. Rainer looked at Anchen, then smiled and encouraged her with a motion of his head for her to go ahead, that it'll be all right. Anchen looked back at the cute boy. Images of what happened at Brad's dance flashed through her mind. She felt like she wanted to run away. She tried to talk, but could not find the words. Then she felt a reassuring hand on her shoulder. It will be fine, Anchen. You got this, Matt said, encouraging Anchen. Anchen smiled. She looked back at the cute butterfly boy waiting in anticipation of Anchen and smiled. I am sorry, Anchen said, but I cannot go with you. I would rather spend the day with my family, Anchen said, to the disappointment of the cute boy. But you are welcome to join us, Anchen invited. The cute boy reconsidered, but declined the offer and flew away. He was cute. Why did you not go with him? Mona asked, as she placed a comforting hand on Anchen's shoulder. I just found myself. I first have to learn to love myself, Anchen said with a smile on her face. I cannot expect someone to love me if I don't love myself, Anchen explained. Mona smiled, surprised. How you have grown, she said, proud of the woman her daughter has become. Anchen turned her attention back to her family, and the rest of the day, the two families had the best time, celebrating life and their love for Anchen, who had changed their lives so much. The end. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the description below, I've included links where you may find and purchase this book.